Today we're going to talk about A-6. A-6 is all about inequalities. Regular inequalities, compound inequalities, and absolute value inequalities. We'll have to do any quadratics for this part. So we're going to solve the inequality and we're going to sketch it on a number line. So when you're solving the inequality, you want to get x by itself. So for this first one, we're going to divide both sides by 4. So I get x is less than 3. Okay, so that's going to be my answer. When I go to sketch it on a number line, make sure your number line goes from least to greatest. Okay, and have more than one number on it. Okay, so like one above, one below is fine. This is going to have an open circle because there's no equal to. And less than 3, my arrow is going to go to the left. Okay, for the second one, and I think it's easiest to get x on the left-hand side, so that when I make my number line, I make sure I know exactly what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is get my x's together, so I'm going to subtract 4x. So I have negative 2x plus 7 less than 3. Then I'm going to subtract 7. So I have negative 2x is less than negative 4. Okay, and then I'm going to divide by negative 2. Reminder, anytime you divide by a negative on inequalities, you have to flip the sign. So this is now going to become greater than, and negative 4 divided by negative 2 is 2. Okay, then I'm going to sketch my number line. Remember, number lines go from least to greatest. This one also is going to have an open circle. And greater than 2, arrow is going to go to the right. Okay, compound inequalities when it's written together, where we have two inequalities. So what we want to do is we want to get the x by itself in the middle. So if I want to do that on this one, I'm going to subtract 3. You do it on the inside, and then we do it on both sides. 1 minus 3 is negative 2. Less than or equal to 2x, less than or equal to 6. 9 minus 3 is 6. Then I'm going to divide everything by what's in front of x. So I'm going to divide everything by 2. So then I have negative 1 less than or equal to x. Less than or equal to 3. Okay, since this is a compound inequality, when I make my number line, I'm going to have 2 dots on it, and means they're going to connect. So I'm going to have closed circle at negative 1, a closed circle at 3, and those connect to each other. Okay, well, one more and then we're going to do absolute values. So if I have a fraction in the middle, okay, you still need to get x by itself. So the first thing you want to do is get rid of this denominator. So that's when I would multiply everything by 2. Because that's going to get those to cancel. So then I have negative 8 less than 2x minus 3 less than or equal to 8. Okay, and then it's solving like what we just did here. So I would add 3 in the middle and on both sides. So I have negative 5 less than 2x less than or equal to 11. And then I would divide everything by 2. So I have negative, if it helps you, like I'm going to go ahead and write this as a mixed number. because that's going to help me when I actually graph it to know where I'm at. If you want to leave it as improper, that's totally fine. Okay, now when you're dealing with fractions, you don't have to I'm going to just put my regular whole numbers. Okay, and then I'm going to put a circle that's halfway between there. Also, if the numbers are really far apart, you can do a break in the graph. So I just make a little zigzag, and then I'm going to have my points here. I have a closed circle at 5.5, and then those are going to connect. Okay, absolute value inequalities. Okay, if it is an absolute value and it's a less than, then this is going to be an and problem. If it's a greater than, it's going to be an or problem. Okay, what I mean is when we're graphing, ands go together, ors go apart. Just like with absolute value equations, you have two equations. With inequalities, you're going to have two inequalities. So this one would be, you drop off the absolute value, the first one stays the same. This is a less than, so it's going to be an and. Okay, on the second one, we leave what's in the absolute value. Then the other one, you flip the sign and make it negative. So you flip the sign and make it negative. Those are both already solved, so that's your answer. And then I would do my number line. Okay, since these numbers are far apart, I'm going to do a break in the graph. They both have open circles, and it's an and, so they're going to connect together. Okay. Okay, this one's going to be an or problem because it's a greater than. So I drop off my absolute values. First one stays the same. Then I'm going to have or. Then on the second one, you're going to flip the sign and make it negative. So the second one, you flip the sign and make it negative. Okay, then I'm going to solve. So on this one, I would subtract 3. So I have negative 4x greater than or equal to 6. Divide by negative 4. Okay, remember we're divide by negative, so we're going to flip the sign. And then negative, so it'll be negative 6/4, which reduces to negative 1.5. Okay, or then if I solve my other one, I'm going to subtract 3. So I have negative 4x less or equal to negative 12. Divide by negative 4, which means we're going to flip the sign. So now this is going to become greater than or equal to negative 12 divided by negative 4 is 3. Okay, on or problems. When you graph them, so I have a closed circle at negative 1.5, closed circle at 3, less than or equal to negative half goes to the left, greater than or equal to 3 goes to the right. So the arrows go away from each other on ors. Okay, then your last two specialties. What if you have negatives on the other side? Okay, well an absolute value can never be negative, so it can't be less than a negative. So anytime you see once the absolute value is by itself, that is less than a negative number, this is going to be a no solution. Okay, it can't be less than 0. So if it's any number less than 0, it's a no solution. Okay, now the same thing works with the other way if it's greater than. An absolute value is always going to be greater than a negative. So if you have an absolute value, anything that says it's greater than 0, the answer to this one would be all real numbers. So less than 0 is a no solution. Greater than 0 is an all real numbers. Okay, this should get you through the whole thing on A66. So you should be able to finish the rest of your homework after you watch this.